I'm just kids. Get 100 off a cocktail maker when you spend 400 through Cyber Monday. Visit bartesian.com cocktail. That's bartesian.com/cocktail.
I bet you're smart.
Yeah, and you like to hold your own in the group chat.
We can help you drop even more knowledge. My name is Martine Powers.
And I'm Ella Hayesai. We host a daily news podcast called Post Reports.
Every weekday afternoon, Post Reports takes you inside an important and interesting story with the kind of reporting that you can only get from the Washington Post.
You can listen to Post Reports wherever you get your podcasts. Go find it now and hit follow.
Welcome to the Stansbury Show on Thursday morning. Here we are on Rock 106.9. I am experiencing a few studio problems. It is telling me it is going to close this system down on me at some point. The way it has been for a little while now, there seems to be an issue. I think I have traced this down. Now, I'm not the guy who should be doing this, but I'm not saying they're making me. I'm just saying there are people who are more equipped to handle this. It seems as if one of the things this system does not care for is when it has come like overnight, and now I'm coming in the morning, kind of taking us into the new day, like that switch, that handoff. For some reason, this program, it just does not seem to like that a whole lot. We'll try and get that figured out for me, for you, for all of us. Probably won't get that answer today. 9 a.m. this morning, Jay Leno. Some of you have probably seen this, some video. Also, there's a couple of still photos out there. The story is, and absolutely nobody believes the story out of Jay Leno, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't think I believe it. The story is he was staying at a Hampton Inn. Strike one for a lot of people, right? It's like, dude, with that kind of money? Now, he doesn't seem like one of those guys outside of the car collection stuff like Jay's gonna necessarily want to flaunt the money. Now, I would think being that famous, you would probably want a little bit of a different hotel experience. That way, you and I aren't bugging him. But apparently had been staying at Hampton Inn of all things. I mean, they're fine. I've stayed in them a million times. They're great. And if you found out, you were staying there or I was staying there, people go, yeah, it sounds about right. Jay Leno, it seems a little out of place. The reason why people are real suspicious is because his face is black and blue. From the forehead to the chin. One side of his face, black and blue all the way up and down. People feel like these are gambling debts and the mob showed up and kind of tuned him up a little bit. I don't know what it is. But he's telling people he was staying in a Hampton Inn and he tumbled down a hill. This feels very much like you're in the waiting room with roses while she's in there telling the nurse, yeah, I slipped on the steps. It does feel a little bit like this. People are not buying this story from Jay Leno here, and I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm buying it either. Now, I understand being, a little embarrassed. A little sheepish about something that may have happened, may or may not have happened. I get it. But if that's the whole thing, why talk to anybody? Why talk to the press? Why say anything? Why sit there? Why answer questions? He took the eye patch off and showed everybody the bruise. And no, look at it. This is how bad it gets. And that's a little perplexing to me too. I don't know what to, honestly, I slept on that one last night. I wake up this morning, I'm still having a hard time putting my finger on what I think happened there. Or what the answer could be, or why he's talking about it. Because if it's the mob's tuning him up over the gambling debts, which that seemed to be a very, I don't know, does he have a gambling issue? Maybe he doesn't, I just don't know about it. We'll look up some more stuff about Jay Leno before we get there at 9 o'clock. But I slept on that one, I was like, why would he talk about it? It's you think they're going to view that as bro, people are going to start looking into why. And he would only get himself in more trouble there. I don't know why he would do that. That whole thing is confusing. We'll take a look at Jay Leno's situation. We'll do that coming up 9 a.m. this week. Also, it's starting to happen. Two things are starting to happen. One, I said, get ready. This I said 3, 4, 5 years ago. Social media is burning out. It is. More and more people now this last week saying, this is it. I'm done. Dude, it's not good for me. It's not good for my path. It's not good for what I want. I'm walking away. And this is exactly what I predicted. That the movers and shakers are going to go. And I'm interested to see if the users follow suit. Now, what could prevent that from happening is people really seem to be enjoying that celebrities are getting their comeuppance. And I think now I may have to change my opinion as you're all going to run off when your favorite celebs aren't there. I think people are just going to start jumping up and down about the fact that they made the most popular people on the planet run and hide. And I think the people who like that kind of stuff are going to get off on that kind of stuff. And I think some of those places can maybe even get worse. And I'm interested to see what that does to the user bases of them. We've also seen another alternative to X, Twitter, however you want to refer to it. We've seen another alternative pop up. I predicted something would happen with that app. We're already seeing that. I think this is where some of these celebrities that tell you they're getting off of social media, they're not. They're going to take a little break, and they're going to be like, no, I'm coming back, but I'm going to be over here now. And it's because they're going to get paid a ton of money to do exactly what I just told you. Looking at you, LeBron. Looking at you, buddy. Because for sure, he's going to reach in there and pick up every last piece of that cash. You know what? Probably would do. We'll take a look at that part of our 8 o'clock conversation. This is also happening. A pretty big celebrity said the other day, yesterday, that's it, selling the house. I'm leaving. I'm leaving America, and I'm never coming back. Now, a couple of years ago, this would have been bigger news, but this celebrity suffered her own little PR nightmare. People ended up finding out she's not the super nice lady that dances her way onto the set, and I told everybody, I was like, of course she isn't. And of course she's yelling at production assistants. Of course she's yelling at show interns. Of course she's yelling at segment producers, because absolutely none of those people find themselves in the offices of the NBC management. When something's not going well, it's Ellen, get your ass up here, and she answers for all of those people. Which then what happens? She walks out of there, goes down to the floor, says, my name's on the door, you all just got me yelled at, here it comes, I'm taking it out on you now. You know, pretty much like where you work too. Ellen DeGeneres, Portia de Rossi, this is it, waving goodbye, we're leaving, see you later. I'm suspicious, and I think I could put an estimated time on when we will see the return of these two people, and that would be fine with me too. For more and more celebrities, these two, a few others, this is it, we're hightailing it out, they're actually going to try to leave. Thursday night football tonight. Browns in the dumpster. A lot of people started telling me Steelers might be on their way to the Super Bowl. Now, I can only hope, as I have tickets tonight, that we can play spoiler, not maybe for the Super Bowl, but even for just tonight, for the Steelers the same way we did for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't have a whole lot of optimism on that. I am going because it's a fun thing to do. I'm a diehard football fan. It's knocking around these pockets, so let's light them on fire. You know what I mean? Go to the Browns game with them, drink too much, and, see what happens there. Now, Myles Garrett, and I defended him all last year with the Defensive Player of the Year thing, and I believe he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. I do, I believe that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do believe it. Well, I'm not wrong. He did win it. So, no, I'm not. I don't have to believe it. He was the defensive player. He's now looking for an apology. And I'm now going to defend the Pittsburgh Steelers end of this. Myles, you got to let this go. You got to let it go. You're in the basement. The team sucks. You stuck up for the quarterback. Everybody about what they think about you. Will you not do that? Will you not do it? That apology ain't coming. And honestly, when I saw the response, I was like, oh no, am I a TJ Watt fan? Do I like this guy now? Because I think he's a little bit right about this. We'll talk about that this morning. We got new charges against Diddy. We got the Tiger King looking for two things from the American King. We'll get to that story today here too on the Stansbury Show. Welcome back to the Stansbury Show here on Rock 106.9. I think I'm a little curious if I am on the air with you guys. Hold on one second. I'm going to change my extension in my headphones. This will let me know. Hold on one second. Sorry to see you. Huh? All right, so there's the end of Hemorrhage there. Now listening to delay of the radio station. Probably screaming at you since I have Hemorrhage turned up really loud in my headphones right now to find out if we are on the air or not. Let's find out. I should be able to hear my annoying voice right now. I believe we are. Hey, would you look at that? I believe we are. God only knows. Sorry about that. A little live test of mission control of the Millennium Falcon, if you will. There is plenty of pilot error throughout the year. players here. This one this morning, I do not believe is that. Got a lot to address today, and hopefully we'll be able to get to all of it, like Thursday Night Football. I think dude, Miles, I don't love what I saw here the other day. I like the guy, dude. I'm still in support of him, dude. I think he's great, and I want him to win tonight and all of that. But I saw something the other day. I was like, oh, Miles, I don't think you're helping yourself here a whole lot with this one. We'll get into that next, though. Here around the scenes pre-show. Sorry, I gotta have this pulled up, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to race. I'm so sorry. I know. It's like really annoying, right? Like it's terrible. Like I shouldn't have to do that. There. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Now I just gotta turn this radio station here. Now I can tell you, okay, what I want to talk to you about. Oh, you've been through a bad breakup, I would imagine. You know what? I hope you haven't, but like the odds tell me most of us. Guys were like, oh no, a dude who gets sad about chicks. Well, I don't know if you get to work at AC/DC stations if you have had one feeling in your life, man. I'm not sure you get to work there anymore. Sickness. Right, that whole thing, right? But like, they happen, breakups, right? Eat a little too much, drink a little too much, maybe heroin. I mean, whatever you're into, right? And everybody's been through it, including famous people. And I remind everybody, famous people are just a dude from the end of your street who got a little lucky, or maybe a little late. And most of you, I don't think, would even consider Sebastian Bach to be famous at all. And he's had a couple of big ones. Broke up with Skid Row. Feel like homie's a little separated from reality, and now all of a sudden, the wife left. This isn't great. They were married 9 years. Now that's either a really long time or short, right? Depending on the marriage. But they had been married 9 years. The wife hightailed it out of there. Left. Took her son now. That was not Sebastian's kid, his stepson. Still, that's going to be a loss of like a person he loves and was used to being around. The kid's going to be a little like, well, what are we doing here, right? There's going to be a little bit of that. That's not going to be easy just because he sang Youth Gone Wild. It's like, oh, cry, right? Like, it's like, you're not, like, dude, like, life doesn't stop because you sing I Remember You. As a matter of fact, you know the artist who pours his soul out and writes songs like I Remember You? Yeah, he's probably going to feel this like a real. Yeah, would you look at that? Told you before, who do you think's making you all those songs? It's all them Sigma sissies that you claim to hate. That's who's making you all those songs you love, right? So he comes home, she hightailed it out of him. Took her and her kid, now that's within her right, but she took the family dog, man. She took the dog. She went country music on it. And so apparently, he didn't handle this well. And what did he do? He went to the internet to not handle it well and made a bunch of like wild posts. One of them was the dog sleeping on the floor and now what will be his ex-wife sleeping on the couch. And he just posted goodbye to Neil, the dog. And like didn't say anything to her. And so somebody like just said, yo man, does this mean you're single? And he just wrote back, yes. Like that's pretty wild. He then posted a photo of his hand, ring on, ring off, before and after, heartbreak emoji. Like he just kind of leaned into this all night, and people were like, dude, Sebastian kind of going nuts here. Here's what he said, quote, I sincerely apologize for my post on social media last night. Came home to an empty house. I had a very strong emotional reaction to that. Of course, most of us would. I'm very sorry for posting anything when I am in serious pain. I apologize. I am just so in love with my wife. Oh, it just doesn't that make him a Sigma sissy, right? A world without her is very difficult to envision. To be honest, when I am not with my wife, I get extremely jealous of anybody who is actually with her. I know that is a flaw, and I am sorry. I am not perfect, that is for sure. When I am away from my wife, I get insecure because I love being in the same room as her more than anything in this world. Yeah, like, this is starting to get a little past, like, I love my wife, I want her to come back, like a little Phil Collins, against all odds, right? Like, oh, against that. Like, there's a little past that till, like, oh, is this why she left? Is like, because, like, getting jealous of people, of her friends when they're with her and you're not, like, that's a little past, like, I love her. Like, that feels like, oh, that doesn't seem like behavior that people should want to exhibit. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I would be very upset, he continues, if anyone thought anything bad about my wife. This is Sebastian Bach, as he came home to an empty house the other day. It's not funny. But she took her son and the dog, and he says, this is not my intention anyway. It's my jealousy that caused these emotions. My love for Suzanne makes me very jealous, but it's my fault and my fault only. I love you, Suzanne, and I hope you are well. I hope you allow me to love again. Hashtag to live again. Then he went on to say, which I think was probably bad advice by somebody or maybe himself, it's like, buddy, you kind of made all the statements now, right? Like, you kind of made them all. But he says here, look, I'd like to clarify that I'm still married. What I posted a couple of days ago when I got home was completely inappropriate in every way. No, I'm not single. I should have never posted that, and any girl has a chance with me because I only want Suzanne. I don't think that's what, plenty of women would still want a night with Sebastian Bach there, that's for sure. He says, I'm doing everything I can to work things out with my amazing wife. Hopefully we can come together and get back what we once had. I am ashamed for thinking my marriage was over when it was not over. I am extremely sorry for upsetting Suzanne and our family and for posting inappropriate content on the internet. Buddy, you're still doing it. Like, you're still doing it. I have to be accountable for my behavior, and I apologize to my wife for overreacting when I got home. I know it's going to be tough to get through this, but I married Suzanne for life. The ring is back on the finger. I have no plans to take it off. Hashtag for life. Hashtag to live again. Nobody's told him the hashtags are over, right? Like, nobody's told him that yet. You don't really need those anymore. Search engines inside of social media apps work pretty well, right? You don't necessarily need those. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but you're still posting the content. Like, the clarification's not going to make Suzanne any more happy than the original posts, right? Well, I think what she's done, maybe I don't know her at all, and I've met Sebastian Bach, I don't know him, right? But, like, I don't know either one of them. But my guess is, like, all right, speaking as a guy who's done this very same thing, just with audio and not on post, let me tell you, trying to walk it back made her more mad, right? Like, just let it go. Just like, you did the thing. It was bad. It's embarrassing. Now just kind of move on, right? Like, that's the thing about being embroiled in, like, a embarrassing situation. It was explained to me like this once. Like, when you're going through something like this, that it's a lot like seasickness. You think you're gonna die. Everybody else just thinks it's funny, right? And like and then the next person there that they get to laugh at, they'll forget that they were laughing at you. And what we all know is true. What? Is that they're laughing, hoping nobody stops, but take a long enough look at them to start laughing at them. Whether or not. I would rather. I don't know. I don't necessarily. This is one of those situations where it's like, dude, if they get it together, get it together. I don't necessarily care about Sebastian Bach on that level anymore. But, like, these did come off as unhinged. And if this is your behavior, like, dude, is that maybe one of the reasons? Like, is that maybe one of the reasons why this couldn't work out? He deleted all these posts, which, again, I think only makes people look a little worse. Everybody kind of knows, dude, that the internet is forever. There's no such thing as deleting. People screenshot this kind of stuff as soon as they see it because they know what's next. You're going to be hitting that delete button.
Stansberry Show. Well, I'm not very good, but I play loud. On Rock 106.9.
Cavaliers bounce back after losing to the Celtics the other day, winning convincing fashion on their home floor last night, beating New Orleans 128 to 100. Damn near 30 on the win last night by the Cavs. Off, I believe, until Sunday now. Yeah, I think it's the Raptors Sunday at home, Rocket Mortgage. Too much doom and gloom on those guys yesterday, I saw online. They got the Browns playing tonight. Yeah, we'll get to the doom and gloom on those guys maybe tomorrow. Right? Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Although we do got to talk a little Myles Garrett next hour. What we have been talking about, Sebastian Bach, formerly of Skid Row. And to be still today, when he was in his prime, he could absolutely bring it. His voice was great back then. Now, if you don't like the kind of music they made, whatever, this and that, but he had the range and the octave, I mean, he had that whole thing. I mean, he was a pretty good frontman for that era. Now, why we were talking, it wasn't that, but he came home. This was about I think on the 11th. And his wife, 9 years, like, had hightailed it out of the house. And he didn't really get into how he knew for sure, but, like, you know, right? If it's happened to you, you know. So she leaves. Now, she had had a son from a previous relationship, so she obviously takes her kid, right? That part makes sense. She took the family dog, man. She went all Conway Twitty on his ass and, like, took the puppers and, like, was like, all right, we're out, right? And so he had posted a photo of her sleeping and the dog sleeping. and just said goodbye to Neil. Like, jeez, like that's, to me, that read as like an F you, right? That means F you to me. He then posted a photo of his hand, you know, ring on, ring off, and that kind of thing. And the fans already starting to ask, are you single? And he wrote yes. And he's like an emotional dude, right? And of course, like nobody should be surprised that the guy that wrote I remember you is an emotional guy. I don't know why we're always so, like this is what, all right, these two things I'm never going to understand. When you find out actors are gay, I'll never understand why that shocks people. I mean, I don't want to go full-blown stereotype here, but like, ever swing by drama club in high school? I mean, right? Like, it's not necessarily like, gee, far leap here, right? Like, it's not necessarily crazy. That and why guys who write to see that guy's up, it always will baffle. He, of course, well, dude, 9 years they were together. Loves her. She hightailed it out of there. Now, he thought better of the post, right? Deleted them, but we know how the internet goes. I mean, literally, you and I are talking about the post. You know why? Because people screenshot it. I mean, places like Metal Sub shot it, then here comes our article, right? Like they live for this. So like, if it's on the internet, if you're even like C-level famous, it's gonna get snapped. Somebody's gonna have it in their possession. He went on to say, I sincerely apologize for my post on social media last night. I came home to an empty house and had a very strong emotional reaction to that. He said, quote, I'm very sorry for posting anything when I'm in serious pain. I apologize. I'm just so in love with my wife. A world without her isn't in it, or I'm sorry, a world without her in it is very difficult to envision. Now, I understand, like, that right there, I think that statement's fine. I had said about previous girlfriends in here, I just do better when they're around. Like, I just, like, life is better. I feel better, I'm more optimistic, like, I just do better when they're around. And, you know what I mean? So, like, that statement I'm okay with. Maybe because I'm guilty of it. But he went on to say, he goes, to be honest, when I'm not with my wife, I get extremely jealous of anybody who is with my wife. Oof. That gets a little weird. I don't think women love the jealousy. Like, right? Like, ladies, am I right here? What you want is a little like, hey, eyes off, right? You want a little of that, but not so much that he's got to fight the guy in the parking lot and turn back into 7th grade, right? You want to see enough of it where it's like, no. Dude, that's respect here. Like, I'm going to demand that you show respect here, right? You want to see a little bit of that, but like once you get to full-blown jealousy, it gets a little ugly then at that point, right? Or maybe, should I say, problematic. It's the P word, the big P word, right? It probably gets a little closer. Says, I know that's a flaw of mine. Yeah, I would agree, Sebastian. I think that is a flaw. I got plenty. I mean, I can only judge it so far. Says, I'm not perfect. When I'm away from my wife, I get insecure because I love being in the same room as her more than anything in this world. All right. I mean, if you should want to be with your partner more than other people. Now, I get it, right? You live together, you've been together 25 years. Dude, come on, man. Like, Thursday night, I got to go bowling. Dude, dude, she's great, but, like, I'll kill her if I don't go, right? I get it. And there's, yes, the female version of that. Yeah, I get it. But, like, you should really want to spend your time with the person you're married to, right? Like, that, I would think that would, ideally, that's what we would all want. He said, I would be upset if anybody thought anything bad about my wife. Well, alluding to her, like, hightailing it out of there, not like, kind of Dear Johning you, is going to make people feel some type of way about her. And I guess that's what this apology is about, right? My love for Suzanne makes me very jealous, but that is my fault and my fault only. I love you, Suzanne. And I hope you are well. I hope you will allow me to live again. And then he went on for another clarification that's kind of said, you know, look, I'm not single. I married her for life. I'm putting the wedding ring back on. I'm going to try to get this turned. He wants to kind of point at Sebastian Bach and kind of laugh. Right, he's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. And I'm going to guess we're probably going to find a way to come back. Coming home to the house and somebody has left you does suck. That happened to me. Started seeing a woman from the Cleveland area that I had been like, we were never like boyfriend and girlfriend, but we spent a lot of time together. When neither one of us had anybody, we would find ourselves with each other. It's kind of one of those, right? And I always knew I was just kind of holding on for dear life. But she started to know. down here a lot and was starting to actually, I can't say Holly Homemaker because she could barely boil water, but like she started to like, and you know, she had other strengths, but that wasn't one of them. But like, she started to like kind of make herself a little bit of part of my home, and like, you know, was kind of taking care of stuff and was kind of doing stuff. And I was like, we blurred the line, you know? And then we were fighting a lot, and I remember I was like, and that was one of those things, is like, she was trying to antagonize me. She wasn't. That's my ego getting in the way. Not everything she did was about me, right? But of course, it's like, that's about me, right? Like that. So, longer story, I left a market, and I mean, it was right by the repository, like literally across the street. And that had a gated parking. And so, you know, you have to use like a little garage door opener. So I use that, I come in, I go in through the bottom, and I go up the stairs, and I go through the front door of my apartment. None of the stuff was hers. At most, 99.9% of the stuff in the apartment was mine. And there was no text message, no letter, no phone call, no nothing. Garage door opener, key to the apartment door. And I literally went to Instagram the way Sebastian Bach did, and I said, I forget what year it was. I think it was like 2016, I think it was. I was like, oh, apparently this is the 2016 Dear John letter. Like,